Hello and welcome back. And in this video, we're going to be working on our view model. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to collapse this and let's collapse this too. And let's create a new file here. So I'm going to hit Command N and select Swift file here. And I'm going to name this one to do view model. Okay. And import foundation is fine. We're going to simply say class to do view model identifiable, and this is gonna have ID as UUID, which is required for identifiable. Then we're gonna have our text and completed. All right, then we're gonna have two initializers. One initializer is gonna take UUID and all the other variables that we have created here. We're gonna assign these properties to self. Okay, now we're gonna create another init, and this is gonna take a to do, which is our to do model that represents our model for the persistence store. Okay, and we're gonna simply say self.id is equal to do.id. Now what happens is this is CoreData way of managing your data and creating your classes. Whenever it creates these classes in the backend, despite you say the properties are non-optional, whenever it creates a auto-generated code, all those properties are created as optional. So if you look at it, it's actually UUID optional. Okay, so in this case we know the source of the data, so we know like these properties are not going to be optional when we are saving it, so we can safely unwrap, force unwrap that. Okay, and that should actually get us going. There we go. All right, so we have our so okay, not for boolean is true or false. Okay, all right, awesome. So this is our to do view model. Now let's go ahead and create another view model, and this one we're gonna call to do list view model. Okay, and this is gonna be the list view model that we're gonna be using, and this one we're gonna need to import SwiftUI, because this is going to be observable object, and we're going to publish some of the things from this class. Okay, so we're going to say to do list view model observable object, not observed object. Remember that observed is basically going to be the counterpart of this, and we're going to publish two properties. We're going to publish to do's, which is going to be of type to do view model, and we're going to also publish a progress value, which is going to be a float, and initial value is going to be 0 0. Okay, next comes our initializer. All right, so what we are doing here is we are going back to our CoreData manager. We're saying give us all to do's. So when get to do's is called, it basically returns us to do model, an array of to do model. So we can map it to do view model by using to do view model.init. Now because we have that initializer that takes a to do, right, it's automatically gonna populate all these other properties for us, and then gonna create us an array of to do view model, which is what we're gonna use to initialize our to do's here. Okay, all right, so next up, there is one more. There's one computed property that we need, and this one is going to be progress display value. And this is going to be of type string, and we're going to simply say return progress value if it's greater than 0.0, then return an interpolated string of progress value times 100, because our progress bar that only works between 0 to 1 is going to give us a float value, which we are going to multiply by 100 to get, like, the percent value, and then that's what we're going to display. Okay, and we're going to put percent here, and then the OR case for this ternary is going to be 0%. Okay. All right, so next up is our fetch all function. So we're gonna actually create a function, fetch all. This is gonna be basically a function that's gonna be called over and over to fetch records whenever we update something or delete something and stuff like that. So we're gonna say self.todos here, core data manager dot share dot get todos dot map to do viewModel.init, like that. Okay, and then we're gonna have a local variable called completed, and we're gonna say it's 0 initially because we're gonna actually go over all to-dos, and we're gonna see how many of them are marked completed. Okay, so if they are completed, we're going to increment this value. So we're just going to go over once of this, and then what we're going to do is we're going to say if todos dot count is greater than 0, right? So if there are items in todos array, then take the progress value and compute that. And the way we're going to compute it is basically we're going to take all the completed values, and we're going to take all the to-dos and divide that completed value by to-dos count. Okay, that's going to give us the number that actually represents our progress. And for to-dos that have to-do list that has nothing in it, we're just gonna return 0 here. Okay, next up is basically removing removing all the completed records. So we're gonna have that functionality here as well. So remove completed, so we're gonna remove all of those from the current array. So we're going to use where clause for our remove all function. So we're going to say to do in to do dot completed is equal to true. So remove all of those from the current local publisher array where completed is true. Okay, then we are simply going to call CoreData manager and tell it to delete to-dos, and eventually we're gonna call fetch all to refresh our data set. Okay, next up, toggle complete, and this is our last function, which is going to basically toggle the complete. So to do view model core data manager dot share dot update to do dot id to do dot text do dot completed. Okay, and we're gonna fetch all here. Awesome. Okay, so that is our to do list view model. Okay, uh, let's go ahead and create two more. I know there's just one more actually. It's a bit of stretch, but it's a simple one. All we need is basically a add new view model. So add new to do view model, and for our case it's just gonna have one function, so that's why we can quickly finish this. Class add new to do view model, and it's gonna have a function. Basically function is gonna be called save to do. It's gonna say take to do view model, and there's not gonna be any return, and it's simply gonna say CoreData manager dot share dot save to do vm dot id to do vm dot text to do vm dot completed. Okay. All right, so that's actually it. So that's all the all the view models. Those are all the view models that we needed to create. So in next videos, or next couple of videos, I think we're gonna start creating our UI. So we just need two UI components. We need a home screen, and we need a add new to do screen. Okay, so those are going to be two sets of videos, or two videos actually, that we're gonna need to create those two sets of screens, and then we're gonna be calling this app complete. Okay, so I will see you guys in next video. Thanks again for watching.